Yeah. So we were thinking about having a rating system that's a little different to just having like a 5 stars or a 10 out of 10. And I thought it might be interesting, and tell us what you think, is having like a rating system that isn't numbers, but like instead of numbers we have other films that we really like. So
okay,
say if it's like something that's but keeping it to things like adaptations, so like the stuff we like the comic book, sci-fi adaptations, things like that. So say if it's like 10 out of 10, we'd have like the top tier stuff. So say the first thing that comes to mind is like The Dark Knight. And then if we have like all the way at the bottom of our rating scale, we have what we'd consider like the garbage or the unsatisfying film, which is things like The Last Airbender or Dragon Ball Evolution. And then in the middle, we have other things that, I mean, depending on what you guys think and where you guys think stand, and things like that.
I mean, I'm trying to think of a film that has that almost perfect execution as Dark Knight or more than Dark Knight, and nothing really springs to mind. So I think Dark Knight being like the pinnacle of filmmaking, I think is perfect. And going all the way down to the bottom, if we look at stuff like Airbender and Dragon Ball Evolution, I'm trying to think of worse films than that. And one of the only ones I can think of that I hated almost as much, you probably feel differently, is the Green Lantern film with the Ryan Reynolds one. I mean, what do you think of that? Or what did you think of that? If you're comparing it to this list, if you're kind of scaling it.
I couldn't watch all of that, so... I mean, at least, actually, no, now you say that, at least Dragon Ball Evolution I watched. Green Lantern I had to stop. So maybe that's the worst film out there. Thank you for reminding me that existed, man.
Oh, so you actually couldn't finish Green Lantern?
No, I couldn't. I don't even know how far through I got. It must have been like... You know, I don't even know. That's how little I remember about it. I didn't enjoy it. I think I might have skipped ahead just to see what the effects were as well. Just to say, okay, at least I've seen the spacecraft too. No, I think that might be the best. I haven't even seen The Last Airbender yet, but I just know it's,
garbage.
Bottom of the can.
And don't worry, we're going to review that on our look back week. So one of these weeks.
Mister, I done the exact same thing with Green Lantern actually. I think it was like the first half an hour. I either fell asleep or I just skipped it. I just changed.
And never decided to go back.
I forgot about it. No, it wasn't even going back. It was like, what did I watch yesterday? Oh, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. So okay. I agree there. I've watched. I'm a big Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball fan. So. Yeah, I have watched that. So
I guess the question is, what film offended you the most that you found just not just garbage, but just offended you for existing? Was it either Green Lantern or Dragon Ball Evolution?
For me, even though I didn't watch all of Green Lantern, it was even though green's my favorite color. And sometimes the Green Lantern's black. At the same time, I don't really care for that. So
don't care for Jon Stewart.
So, but I grew up with Dragon Ball, so I'd have to say for me, Dragon Ball was like more offensive.
Same, 100% for the same reasons. I don't care. I care about that.
I agree.
Yeah.
So the worst of the worst, we're gonna stick with Dragon Ball Evolution, and for the best of the best, we'll stick with Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So should we maybe have like a list of 5 or 6 different films?
Yeah.
To kind of cover the middle section.
Yeah. So what would we say is kind of middle of the road? Just average film. The things that come to mind are things like I think Ant-Man is fine. It's perfectly functional. Yeah. But I think it's average. The first one, it's nothing special, and I think it's just it's okay. And if I just had to think of one that's just like complete 50-50, that's the first thing that's come to my mind.
Yeah, I can't think of anything like right now, but I think Ant-Man's perfect for in the middle. I don't mind putting that right bang on in the middle.
I agree too. It's your definition of just your so-so film.
Yeah.
That quite interesting, but at the end of the day, there's nothing really to kind of warrant rewatching or criticizing too much. So it's your perfect middle of the road film.
And I think especially if you take away the fact that it's an MCU film on its own feet, that's why I think it's just take it or leave it. What about films that you think are not quite Dragon Ball Evolution bad, but just like bad films? So things in like the bottom half that you think below average, not as good as Ant-Man, but not as bad as Dragon Ball. That's quite a gap.
That is quite a massive gap. I mean, if we're talking about adaptations, superhero adaptations, because that's what we do here, pop that culture. I would say films like X-Men Apocalypse. I think definitely deserves to be in that below average area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think actually that there's a bit of a running theme with Fox. I feel like the bottom half you could fill them with like the bad X-Men films and some of the Fantastic Four stuff as well, because most of them I'd say aren't that great. X-Men Apocalypse I do think is the worst X-Men film.
Are you counting the Wolverine films as well?
Just out of the X-Men films, I think that's definitely the worst. Maybe that or Origins. I think I'd still pick X-Men Origins over X-Men Apocalypse. Yeah, actually, yeah. Even, all of them, I'd say X-Men Apocalypse is even Dark Phoenix had things I really liked, but
yeah, me too. But I agree. Apocalypse definitely deserves to be in the below average.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed Apocalypse. I'm not gonna lie, but
really,
yeah. No, it's not like a whole lot, but I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than you two as you're describing it. But yeah, but
so would you say it's above average?
Not above, no. But I think I don't know. I don't want to put numbers in.
But you don't think it's as bad as?
Yeah, I mean, let's just say it's the. I think I would say you lot are saying it's like in the quarter of this rank. So I would probably give it like, I don't know, like 40. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so right below. Will you put it right below Ant-Man?
A little bit lower, a little bit lower, but a little bit higher than you two. Did you get me?
You know what? Actually,
right in that sweet spot.
It's still in the same area. Let's just put that. Mine's just a little bit higher. That's all.
You know what? I think that draws attention to a good thing about this scale is that maybe we'd need more than one film between Ant-Man and Dragon Ball Evolution, because I feel like that is quite a gap, and maybe having two films like in between each, and likewise with Ant-Man and The Dark Knight, I feel like there's tons of good stuff in between that, and just picking one in the middle is probably too much. And I think maybe having more to the scale would be good. So maybe if like say, so would you say X-Men Apocalypse like is still below average, but not so bad that you put it right next to Dragon Ball Evolution? Is that what you're saying, baby?
Yeah.
So you feel like there's worse things out there that maybe we could stick between X-Men Apocalypse and Dragon Ball Evolution, and that's fair.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and what about you, Nash? Because you like the Fantastic Four films, don't you? But I'm like, I don't. So I mean, I like the newest one the most, probably, which I think is the most like hated out of all of them. But like the Chris Evans, Jessica Alba ones, I'd say, meh.
You know what? I really like the Fantastic Four movies. I really like the original.
All three
Fantastic Four movies. 3?
And as in, you like all three of them, as in the Chris Evans ones and the.
You know, at the time, it was just so nice seeing a fresh superhero family that wasn't X-Men or Spider-Man or Superman or Batman, you know? I feel like that was one of the reasons why it drew me back in the day, and my feelings haven't diminished over time, regardless of what I now know. What takes to be a good superhero film, and I would put it above Apocalypse. I think the I feel like out of those three, the worst one I would say would be possibly the second one, just for committing one of the biggest sins I've ever seen in cinema in terms of making Galactus a massive cloud as opposed to a giant purple titan. Yeah. So yeah, number 2 is definitely the weakest. It definitely deserves to be in the bottom half.
Is this Fantastic Four 2, right?
Yeah.
Silver Surfer, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're all bad.
That's such a shame. Marvel's first family.
Yeah. Although I think I do like Silver Surfer more than the first one. But I kind of...
Okay.
Yeah. I think I agree. They put people down. I'm not arguing with that.
So, we have Dragon Ball Evolution, either X-Men Apocalypse and Fantastic Four, and then Ant-Man. I mean, I'll throw in some nominations.
Go for it.
I don't know what you guys... can have Justice League, Batman vs. Superman, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor: The Dark World.
I was going to say Elektra or Catwoman.
Ooh, Catwoman.
Catwoman, yeah.
Catwoman. Yep,
Yeah,
Catwoman. That has to be, definitely.
Yeah.
Should we throw Catwoman down there, then you'll both seem to react the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I would see the bottom half looking. Dragon Ball Evolution, then Catwoman, then X-Men Apocalypse, and then Ant-Man.
Yeah, that looks alright.
I think because you said Batman versus Superman as well.
Yeah.
I feel like that should go I think that should be down there, to be fair. I would put it down there. I would put it down there. I don't know about you two. What do you think?
That's probably one of the most offensive films as well, right? Because this was what we were waiting for. Similar with Dragon Ball Evolution. We've been waiting for, we didn't ask for a live action Dragon Ball Evolution film. That's a different story another day. But the Batman vs. Superman, this is something that we've been waiting to see for decades, years and years. And seeing what we saw, it's an interesting question. Okay. What do you think, mister?
I think where we've gotten that scale, I feel like I could switch out Apocalypse for Batman v Superman. Like, that's the level I kind of see it. I definitely see it in the bottom half as well. But I don't think it's as bad as like Catwoman or Dragon Ball Evolution, just because they were another level of bad.
I enjoyed Apocalypse more than Batman vs Superman.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I agree.
I would say Batman vs Superman, Apocalypse, and then Ant-Man. If Apocalypse is still down there.
Ah, okay. Wow, you really hate that film.
which
Batman v Superman.
Yeah, I was the most excited, like in
I remember Baby A for like a good year.
I was excited, man. And then
that's all he could think about and talk about was Batman versus Superman.
Yeah. So I remember actually enjoying Apocalypse more than Batman versus Superman. So I had a WTF. I had a WTF moment. So I was like, what the fuck? So yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of bad films when you think about it, isn't it? When you actually think about ranking them.
Okay, so I think we've got something here, right?
Yeah.
As a bottom half.
Yeah. What do we think is in the top half? I feel like there's so much we could put there. Should I just throw out a few names that I feel like are top level stuff? So I think.
So this is 2, right? We're picking 2 from these top.
2 from these that need to go in between Ant-Man and The Dark Knight.
Okay.
So I'd say X-Men 2, X-Men First Class, Iron Man 3, Thor Ragnarok. Did I say Spider-Man 2?
I don't think you said any of the Spider-Mans.
Far From Home.
Civil War.
Yes. Yep. Winter Soldier. Bloody hell. Mate, there's too many.
I think this is going to be the hardest.
And even, Endgame, Infinity War, Spider-Verse. They're too good.
Well, what if we each nominate 2 films and then see which ones overlap, and then let's just go from there. We each nominate 2 films and then
okay,
and then we'll see.
As in 1 for each position or 2 for each position.
I guess we'll just for now. Let's just pick two, and then we'll decide which position they should go. Yeah. Do you want to kick us off, Mister?
This is hard, man. This ain't easy. I feel like I'm betraying films.
Yeah, it is. There's so many. Just to pick two is like crazy.
I think two films definitely above average and really good. I want to put Spider-Verse in there somewhere really high because I feel like it's just away from being like top level stuff. Like Into the Spider-Man, I love it. I'd say it's the best Spider-Man. And another one that I definitely say is above average, really good film. I want to say one of the good X-Men films. First Class, but maybe the X-Men First Class. But I feel like I need something a bit less good, you know, to put between Ant-Man and Spider-Verse. First Class is too good to put that far down. But okay, I'll just put those two names there. I feel like I need a film less good.
So you've got Spider-Verse and First Class. Yeah. Okay, Baby A.
I would go with Civil War, and I'm still thinking about the other one, to be honest. I've only got Civil War at the moment. I can't think. There's so many.
Too many. Whose idea was this anyway?
Okay, I guess while you decide on your list, I'll throw mine in there. I'd like to put Winter Soldier and very careful here. Winter Soldier and I want to say Endgame. And my justification of that is to be able to have a string of films for 10 years, creating this whole world with different characters, different stories, and kind of combining them together, and then giving us a payoff that we're satisfied with and can look at it and think, wow, this exceeded my expectations and I can't see you doing this ever again. Them even doing Endgame half right would have been an achievement, and what they gave us was just it was a miracle. I'd say a cinematic miracle to be able to to be able to live up to the expectations people were building for 10 years. So yeah, I'd throw in Spider-Man 2 and Endgame.
Okay.
Winter Soldier and Endgame. Sorry.
I might actually go for Spider-Man 2. The one with Tobey Maguire.
Maguire.
Yeah. I forgot how, you said that. Once you said that, I was like, whoa, yeah, that's a flashback, man. That was awesome.
that was close to it was a toss-up between Spider-Man 2 and Winter Soldier for me.
Alright, so we got a lot of good films there.
So we've narrowed it down to at least 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, where do we go from here?
Yeah, what would go where? Like, where did you see Winter Soldier and Endgame?
I would just saw Winter Soldier above Ant-Man, and then Endgame below Dark Knight.
Okay, yeah.
And yourself?
For me, I would say Spider-Verse where you play Endgame, though I'm fine with Endgame. And First Class for Winter Soldier. Although
for Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Baby A?
I would say... I don't even know, if I'm being honest.
It's too hard, isn't it? It's too hard.
What were your picks again? It was Spider-Man 2 and...
Civil War.
Civil War.
So, I would say Civil War above Spider-Man 2. And
okay.
Where did you say yours was again, so I can place it, pin it?
I put Winter Soldier above Ant-Man, and then Endgame below Dark Knight.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Dark Knight will always be on top, yeah. And then I would say Civil War, and then Spider-Man 2. Yeah.
Okay, so there's no agreement between us.
Not even a single one. Okay. What if we each picked the best out of the two of another person and then eliminate it that way. This only depends if both people choose the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess so. Yeah. So if we were to pick Baby A's, we'd kind of agree which one's better out of those two, and then
all right,
we'll do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We'll start with Baby A's suggestions. So out of Spider-Man 2 and Winter Soldier, which one would you say is better out of those two?
Oh my god.
Spider-Man 2 and Civil War. So.
Why don't you answer first?
You know what? I think I would have to give the edge to Spider-Man 2 because it's almost a flawless film in my eyes. It gave us a Peter Parker who was more detailed and someone who was not only battling, obviously, the stuff that he was battling, but he also had inner demons in which we could kind of relate to, you know? And it was, and the villain was amazing, Doc Ock. And no, it was perfect. It's almost flawless. I'd pick Spider-Man 2 over Civil War.
I'm still here. I'm just thinking.
It's hard. This is hard.
I feel I might need to say Spider-Man 2 as well. Just because I think it's more because it's been around and I've rewatched it so many times and it hasn't gotten old yet. Whereas Civil War hasn't been around as long for me to be able to say that. So for now, I think I would say
Spider-Man 2. Okay. So from Baby A, Spider-Man 2 advances. Should we tackle yours, mister? Me and Baby A will tackle yours.
Go for it, yeah.
So that was Spider-Verse and X-Men First Class. Do you want to go first, Baby A, or should I?
I can go, yeah.
Go on.
I would go... Okay, the reason why I'm going for... I will go with Spider-Verse more than First Class. I really enjoyed the original X-Men. So when it was a whole new characters and, you know, the new change, I found it kind of hard to just adjust a little bit. So I think that's why I'm going with Spider-Verse. And I thought Spider-Verse was awesome anyway. But yeah. For me, Spider-Verse.
Okay.
This is hard. Sorry, not to say that First Class isn't as epic. First Class is epic. But yeah, I'll go for Spider-Verse.
Okay, for me, this is extremely difficult. Spider-Verse is amazing, flawless, and just it was like quite a big milestone in terms of animation. What you can do with animation and how you can represent animation. Coming from a comic book movie. X-Men was a fresh take, a much needed fresh take after, was it Wolverine had come out by then? And
we'd had the trilogy and Wolverine,
Yeah, and I reckon, and like you said, Baby, before I watched X-Men, I thought, you know what, this is going to be hard for me to adjust to First Class because it's whole new characters. I've grown up watching the old characters, but now I'm going to have to adjust to these new characters. But watching the movie, X-Men First Class is in my top 10 superhero films of all time. It's just so amazing and perfect, I think. Michael Fassbender and McAvoy do an incredible job. It's got an incredible plot, an incredible villain, Kevin Bacon. And it was just nice, you know, seeing all these different mutants that we've never seen before, and getting to see the origins. Usually origins I don't care for, but I really enjoyed watching this. I think I'd give, just because of what it did to a franchise that I loved, I'd give the edge to X-Men First Class.
Okay.
Wow.
I think he wrote a love letter to that film just then as well. So I think you should save that.
Oh man, yeah. So we're at a stalemate here. So the films that have been picked are Spider-Man. Was it Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
And Spider-Man verse, Spider-Verse, and X-Men 2 from you, Mister. You two do my list, and then we'll see where we stand.
What were your twos again?
Mine were Winter Soldier and Endgame.
I think that's probably the easiest. I think I would pick Endgame, just because it was the Endgame. As much as I love Winter Soldier, I think it's a really strong film in and of itself. Endgame over Winter Soldier, because just the culmination of the whole MCU up to that point, like you were saying, once in a lifetime thing. I don't think it's ever going to quite hit that high again. Winter Soldier was a really solid film, but Endgame, for everything it brought together and just those moments, man. Yeah, Endgame over Winter Soldier. What do you say?
Yeah. Yeah, man, like how can I not go for Endgame? So yeah, I definitely agree. Everything you just said. Yeah. I'll just be echoing what Mr. said, so I'll keep it short and sweet. Yep.
Okay, so we have Endgame, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Verse, and X-Men First Class.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So should we each now just pick two from that group and say where we'd put it and see if we have any agreement?
I would probably place Endgame under Dark Knight, and I would put Spider-Man 2 above Ant-Man.
Okay. You know what? I can agree with that, actually. Yeah. I think that's fine.
Yeah, then I agree. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have ourselves a rating system.
Woo!
I didn't bring.
Go on now, Mr.
Shall
Lay it on us.
take it from the bottom. So at the bottom we had. So this makes it a 7-tiered rating system, which I think is good because it gives us something slap bang in the middle, rather than trying to do something else. But okay, so at the bottom of that 7-tiered rating system, we had Dragon Ball Evolution, because it betrayed all of our childhoods. Just above that we had Catwoman, because it was bad and I think most of us had forgotten it existed until we mentioned it again today. Just above that there was a little bit between whether it be Batman v Superman or X-Men Apocalypse. But did we say Batman v Superman at the end? We'd keep there?
I think Batman v... I think that...
Yeah. So bad, like below average, but not as bad as the other two that came before it. Slapping in the middle, average of our scale is Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man. Just because, it is what it is. It's fine. Take it or leave it. It's not amazing. It's not bad. And then above that, oh god, I forgot this. It was Spider-Man 2, right? Yeah. So we've said so many films. So we've got Spider-Man 2, which is this is the side of the films that they're all good now. This is clearly above average, really strong film, one of the best Spider-Man films there. Almost to the point where it's probably criminal that it's at that point in our scale, but it just had to go there because of because of the discussion we had. And then above that, just below the top tier, we have Avengers Endgame. I don't think I need to go into why. Yes, it is what it is. And then at the top, probably for all time, we have The Dark Knight. So there we have it. That's our scale.
Yeah. Okay. Can I just throw in some honorable mentions, good and bad? So, so we have films that we could have incorporated, like Venom, Deadpool 2, Logan, Deadpool 1, Suicide Squad, Guardians 2, we could have thrown in Man of Steel, Watchmen, Kick-Ass, the Batman, I can't remember which one it was, but the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, was that Forever or Forever? Batman Forever? Batman and Robin. And we could have also incorporated stuff, maybe The Incredibles. I don't know whether that stems from superheroes, but and also Superman Returns.
Yeah, that's a lot of honorable mentions,
So we've got our list.